First of all, hi Olivia Dean. Everybody, Olivia Dean's here. Trying to get better at formal introductions. I'm super shit at them.
No, it doesn't need to be formal.
Doesn't need to be formal.
Informal.
I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
I feel like I know you through your music. I feel like I know you through mutuals. And now I do know you, which is beautiful.
Yes, I'm here. I can't believe it.
Okay, cool. We're done that. Now let's get back to the song. So that song, right, is first of all, you know it's going to be real by the song title, because it's the kind of thing that people say at some of the darkest moments in their life, or when someone else is in one of the darkest moments of their life and you're trying to give them support. So you're qualifying that they should feel upset about something. So that title is just everything. And then it's like, all right, are you going to write the song that owns that sentence? I've never seen in a song title before. And you did.
I really enjoy song titles that haven't been done before.
That's a real one.
It's so fun for me when I write a song and then I'll check and I'll be like, yes.
That's new. And also the way you sing it, like it rolls off the tongue so good in song. Let alone the one you love. It's like they literally tumble over each other into a beautiful mess at the end. It's wonderful.
It's interesting you say that, because when the song was written, it was in 4/4 and the rhythm of that line was different. Yeah.
How does that go?
It was a bit
Let alone the one you love.
Yeah, it was a lot more boxy.
Yeah.
And I just was like, thinking of D'Angelo today and Untitled and the feeling of that. And I was just like, it needs to be in 6/8. And then that line just clicked
Let alone
and
the
came
one you love.
alive.
It's so good. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
Hard earned too.
It's been a minute. Yeah. I feel like
But not even just time, just life. Like to get from messy to this.
a lot of living.
Yeah.
Yes, you can hear it, I feel.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You can. And every record should reflect that time in your life, as should interviews. Let's talk about all the bad stuff. No, I'm joking.
No, please.
No, let's talk a little bit about like where this album began for you and when you realized that you were ready to take that life lived and turn it into music.
You know, Messy was amazing. I was able to go to a lot of places in the world and get all this experience and really get to know myself better. And then last year was just very intense. A lot of heartbreak, a lot of intense kind of romantic feelings, to put it lightly. And I went to an exhibition here in LA that was called All About Love, in response to Bell Hooks' All About Love. And I was looking at one of the paintings, and in the description it said, you know, something about the art of loving. And it was like, that's what I need to do. I need to explore my understanding of love to close this chapter of my life. And I want to talk about love and not talk about it as just this fantasy thing, and talk about it as like a skill and a craft, and understand my understanding of that skill and help people to think about theirs more. It felt like a calling. It was like, okay, I'm doing a case study right now.
Yeah, and you know what? But you turned it into something that retains all the feeling as well. You know, Earl Sweatshirt said something interesting to me the other week. He said feelings are fleeting. And so what you've taken is the fleeting feeling of something and given it an actual context and given it a foundation to try to understand and try to kind of use in your life, I feel, while listening to this record.
Feels like a toolkit to me,
Yeah, for sure.
this album.
For sure.
And hopefully something that people can return to. Like, I was thinking about that a lot in the studio, like the way I return to Mahogany Soul, Angie Stone, or the way I return to Miseducation. No way comparing the standard of those to this, but I mean like those kind of albums that are like just food, like a good, just like you need them, you know?
It's in the family. I can say that now as someone who listens to those records and those kind of artists that really, to your point, they become a part of your the steps of life. They move with you, right? They travel with you. And this is definitely a traveler, right? It's a sticker on the flight case of life. And, you know, you've definitely made one of those. And I can tell you're really proud of it too, which I love. Sometimes artists come in here and they're not quite sure how to respond to the response. But I feel like you're really open and embracing it.
I'm really proud of it. I worked really hard on it, and it's so honest and real and honestly quite fresh. Like, half of this album was written in March, April of this year.
So it's new to you.
So new. And like, I'm singing these songs, like starting to sing them live now. And it's like the first time I've sung it since I recorded it in the studio. And it's like, whoa, it's still giving me goosebumps. Like, I listened to the album on the plane on the way here and I cried.
I love that. I just, you know, it's so funny. So much of my life has been spent talking to artists, and a common question I would ask them is, do you listen to your own music? You already know the answer. 8 or 9 times out of 10, the artist will tell me that they don't.
Cringe,
they don't. And they don't, right? They're like, no, I don't, whether they're telling the truth or not. It always left me with a little bit of sadness, because I'm like, I guess that's the trade. I guess you get the creation and we get the creating and we get the creation.
I think with this album, for me specifically, I still need it. Like, I need those feelings still. It feels very like I'm still living in the world of it all. And I'm able to like not listen to like the mix, you know, and actually listen to the feeling, because there's so much in it. It feels so
I mean, the mix is fucking flawless. Man.
Yeah, I mean,
the mix is unbelievable.
Charlie Holmes, amazing mixer.
Ooh,
yeah.
the drums. Just in the pocket, huh? Just nestled, guiding everything without trying to steal anyone's attention.
I think everything's where it needs to be. And we worked really hard on that. I don't think it's shouting any of it. I feel it's such an intimate listen, and yeah, I love it. I love this album.
You've just, you've created something that knows itself so well. Like, for you to finish the song like this and not like, I could just knock this out of the park with one more chorus,
No. No.
You just feel like, no, I've said everything I need to say. Let me
Ba ba ba.
let me enjoy it.
Yeah, I love the ba ba bars.
I love the ba ba bars.
I actually wrote like a whole other bridge, and it was like all these examples, like more kind of specific life examples of how you, and I was just like, let's just ba ba ba, guys.
You got a little list in there. What is it? Water, sunlight,
talking all night, just enough to grow it. Yeah,
that's just enough. That's all you need.
Enough.
It's a little shopping list.
Yeah.
I know what I'm cooking.
It's also like we could be nice to each other, but just a suggestion.
I love the line, I don't want a boyfriend. You're such a liar in that song. It's so cheeky.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're not, maybe you are, but I love the fact that it's just so knowing. It's just like, it feels a little bit, when I'm listening to it, like I'm serious, but I'm also a bit defensive and not quite sure. And I don't know, it just feels unknowing.
Of course. I think that's kind of like my whole energy and I guess approach to love sometimes. It's like intensely romantic, but also no worries if not.
Yeah. Well, there's an interesting lyric on the album, which is like, I'm afraid to change, right? I'm afraid of changing myself, of being changed. And this idea. And so let's talk a little bit about, where your sense of self-awareness when it comes to writing those kind of lines and what you learn about yourself when you acknowledge something like that you probably wouldn't acknowledge in everyday conversation. You're not going to sit down, have a coffee with your friend and just outright say, I'm just afraid of being changed.
Yeah, I'm too scared to belong to anyone.
Right.
Yeah, it's a big thing to say. I think that my understanding of love, especially in the process of making this, has changed so much. And I think that you can be really deeply in love with someone and have a really healthy relationship, but remain your own person.
Yep.
Me personally, I need that. Like, my life is so full and I have so many things I want to do and so many places in my life I want to pour love into. And I don't feel like it needs to be everything. Love is everything, but I think it needs to be spread throughout your life rather than in one place.
Friendship and companionship, where would you like it to be most present for you? So it's not distracting or taking away from the other things that you're focused on in life. How do you want it to work for you?
Well, I think that Bell Hooks put it beautifully, where it's like, I suppose love is just wanting to nurture somebody else's growth and let them shine. And so you're just shining on your paths, and the paths are going the same way, but we're on our own paths. We're watering our own gardens, and we're visiting each other's and we're spending time, but we're in our own gardens, There's
lots of kind of love, and I think as an artist, you experience another intense kind of love, which is this sort of adoration from those you don't know but know you. You haven't met everybody in your crowd yet, but we feel like we know you pretty well. It's probably not something to analyze, but does it give you a feeling?
Sometimes it can be quite strange, I think that the nature of the music I make, I really imagine the listener listening on headphones. I really am trying to create an intimate experience. So I think that does lend to like that feeling of like a friendship, or feeling like someone knows you. And like when we do shows, it's like, wow, we're all kind of friends, but we've never met.
And you must be reminded that you let everybody into this beautiful vicarious experience, and now there's 20,000 people who know exactly what you were thinking on that day.
Yeah. It's powerful.
Crazy.
It's powerful. Sometimes I'm like, why am I drawn to that feeling, of being intensely vulnerable with people? But it's like, it's the best thing in the world. It makes me feel like a human.
Okay, all right. Truth bombs.
Truth bombs.
Truth bombs. We're going to drop them for the truth. How did you translate that as a kid? That gravity toward that gravitational pull to vulnerability, when probably a lot of your peers or friends or even the adults in your life were just trying to keep you safe and tell you to be a kid. But you're an empath, right?
Yeah, intensely so. Sometimes too empathetic. Can get you into trouble.
Boundaries, baby.
Yeah. Need them. Yeah, need them.
Yep.
You know, I think I first sort of like fell in love with like storytelling through song, through musical theatre, which a lot of people have a chip on their shoulder about, and like that's fine. But
Which side though, the musical theatre side, or the people who don't want to hear you acknowledge musical theatre?
I think a bit of both. I think people
yeah.
love to say that it's cringe, and it's like, okay, but maybe release yourself from the idea of cringe and free yourself from that, and then like enjoy just like the feeling.
Plus, what 5-year-old thinks linear? What 5-year-old's going, I only want to focus on the songwriting craft. You're thinking, I want to dance, sing, perform, I want to do it all.
Like the first time I saw West Side Story, I was just like, oh my God, whoa. And
Sensory overload.
Sensory overload. I love the drama. And I feel like sometimes in music at the moment, we were just saying like people can be so nonchalant.
Yeah.
And I love intense emotion.
Yeah.
It's cool to show that you care. I mean, at least I think so.
I love it as well. I know my friends don't always love it. Sometimes they're like, slow down.
No, I can't.
Right.
You need to know how I feel.
Yeah.
Whether that be good or bad. Like some moments on this album are like, wow, did I need to share that? And it's like, yeah, I did.
Finding people you can do that around is really important. Finding people you can sit in a room with and share these things so that they become real enough to put into the creative process is not talked about enough.
It isn't. And, you know, I work with some amazing songwriters and people that I've been working with for a really long time.
And know you.
Yeah, like songs like Loud could not have possibly been written on the first day of a session in the studio. Like that is a song that's built on 9-10 years of being in the studio with Max and Bastian, and a comfortability and a vulnerability that is priceless.
Really vulnerable arrangement as well for a powerful message. What were you feeling the day you wrote that?
Complete devastation and heartbreak. And I wasn't even going to go to the studio because sometimes it's like, if you're in a certain headspace, it's like, is it kind of torturous for me to go and talk about this all day and write a song, or is it going to be healing? Can go one of two ways. And that song kind of just fell out in a day. And then we chose the Spanish guitar. This guy Ollie Clark played beautifully on it, and originally I was like, maybe we'll change that. Like this is like a ballad, and so it should be piano. And I was like, no, the Spanish guitar's cool.
Yeah. Because the thing about the piano, right, and this is just me being super nerdy, it requires intention. Like I'm going to go sit behind the piano, which means I'm going to play these notes, which means I'm going to go digging. But sometimes you just pick up a Spanish guitar and you just cuz. So what I love about the arrangement of this song as a listener and a fan of the album is it feels like I just drop into it. Whereas a ballad is like, and we begin with the heartbreak.
Yes. And this is kind of more, like a nuanced heartbreak. And gosh, I'm so proud of that song. I love the string arrangement on it. The vocals, one take, front to back.
Wow. How did you get through that?
So the story goes is that I wrote it on that day with Max and Bastian. I sung it once and then I never sung it again. And then towards the end of the process, we came to record all of the strings. And it was the day of the strings. I went to the studio, and it'd been my dream to have, people arrange strings to songs that I've written.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God.
Of course.
Crazy.
Seriously, bring the tissues, by the way, because I was talking about this the other day. You're never going to get through that without the emotion. It's just insane.
It's such a privilege. And I sat in the room with the orchestra, just in the corner of the room crying while they recorded it. And we had 5 minutes at the end of the day. And I just said, guys, just for the shits and gigs, can I sing it once through with you? Just for my own enjoyment.
Did you have a take with the strings?
Yeah, that's the take.
That's the take you did?
Yeah, and so we had 5 minutes left of their time because the string people
you were just doing that for you and you kept the original, but you did that. That was the take.
Front to back, the whole take. And I was just like, that was it. And that was the second time I'd ever sung it,
It's a good day at the office, huh?
I was like, wow.
How was the feeling different when you sang it the second time versus the first time? When you wrote it on the day of heartbreak and that... All right, sorry. I'm trying to order my questions in some kind of like semblance of how it makes sense in my brain, okay? Because this is really important to me. How did it feel to sing it on the first day?
On the first day, I was a little bit ill. So there was a real tiredness in the voice. I would say there was an exhaustion in the vocal that I felt couldn't be recreated. So I was happy to keep that as the demo.
How did it feel the second time you recorded it?
By that time, a couple months had passed and I was able to heal from the situation a bit more. And I sung it with a bit more conviction.
Interesting. So
I owned the sadness a bit more.
That's such a good way to describe it, because on paper, you would think that sad and desperate experience the first time around was the most honest reflection, but you're saying actually with time, you discovered a new honesty in the song. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think there's difference in saying in a real sad and tired voice, like, you weren't allowed to come around and throw my heart about, and then saying you were not allowed to come around and throw my heart about. You were not allowed, you know?
Olivia, it doesn't get better than that.
Oh,
It just doesn't. I mean, as far as songwriting goes and just, you really listen to what the song was asking you to do.
yeah. I love the way it moves. I love the melody from the pre into the chorus. Like, it's like
I love how you go back to no reverb anywhere at the end.
dry.
Just me and the piano playing this piano.
The one I let you play.
The one I let you play, right? It's literally like all of the support you've had through the whole song, from the strings to the mixing to the sound and the EQ, and everyone is like supporting you through this performance. And then it's just you.
At the end of the day, yeah.
Shit, Eddie, we got a real one. Olivia Dean's a real one. This is serious. Oh my God, the albums you're going to make.
I'm excited. Yeah. I love making music. It's the best thing in the world. I can't wait to think about all the albums I'm going to make in my life.
The most fun time ever, going through some of the hard times and the best times ever.
And turning it into a document. Like, this album feels like such a time capsule. Like, I can't wait to listen to it in like 10 years and be like, damn, sis.
You were complaining then?
Yeah, like, wow, you were in your feels, huh?
Oh, you're in your feels, man. That's so funny.
I can't wait. Wait.
For sure. I love the artwork too. I know people are obsessed with the artwork, but it doesn't look, there's no, and I'm not disrespecting anyone who worked on this, you or anybody else who came up with this idea. It's actually the highest compliment I can give it, is it doesn't feel like there's any art direction to it at all. It feels completely just caught magic.
Yeah, I mean, there was.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I want to preface this by saying, obviously that takes time, but you capture something very, very present.
I think it feels so at peace, this photo. I think it feels like a sister photo to the Messy cover.
Yep.
I love the blur. I love it feels in motion and reflective. And yeah, I think as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's it. There was no question. I delivered it. I was like, that's the album cover.
So you're a first-rate empath right here, turned artist, which
Pisces.
is... Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's your star sign?
I'm a Leo.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about you unless it's all about me, which it is. But I want it to be about you too. I'm super generous with my time.
Yes, absolutely.
But I want you to acknowledge that I'm being super generous with my time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay? Is that cool?
Understand.
Is that cool? Just acknowledge that I'm acknowledging you. So interesting as you kind of get older and realize that those things are super true. It's all magic and math, and it's all completely out of our concept of realization or what's true, that we can't control any of it.
No, we can't. I own the Pisces thing. I feel that deeply emotional, very empathetic, and yeah, quite aloof maybe.
Yeah, well, there you go, right? Like, I'm cool, I'm down, we can be friends or whatever, but a little bit on my terms. Let me figure it out. Give me some space.
Yes, very independent. Sometimes too independent. I don't know.
So where does the spirit of collaboration fit into that experience? Because obviously you're a good collaborator. You could have made a record with people and give them the space to be themselves in your room. So is that a practice for you to sort of let go of the independence sometimes and allow people to sort of lovingly take part in your life?
Yeah, I have a real appreciation for songwriting, and I love writing songs with people. I need to be across all of it, obviously.
There you go.
And it needs to be my stories and,
for
know, all of that. But like, I love the process of making a song with someone and finding that common ground and sitting at the piano and, deliberating over a verse for an afternoon. Like, that's just such a lovely thing to do, and find the right words in the pocket and go
Craziest
back and
job
forth.
ever. Best job ever.
And I'm very lucky. I work with amazing people. And as I said, it's friendship that's been built over a long time. Like, I started, I put my first song on when I was like 17, 18, and I'm still working with those people. And my band that I play with now, like, I met at Brit when I was 17. Like, we've been playing together for 10 years. Like, me and Dan used to busk on the South Bank.
Do you talk about that? Do you laugh about those times?
We do laugh about those times. And sometimes they pull up videos and I'm like, please.
What's the maddest thing that happened to you while you were busking? I mean, you've got frontline shit to the way people...
Listen, busking builds your character, man.
For sure.
builds your character. But I just remember feeling like, oh my God, you can make money on the side of the street, like singing covers. And I would just, like open up the case and just, I remember like one day we made like £30 and then we went to Gourmet Burger Kitchen and I was like, this is the life, man. Dinner is paid for.
Amazing.
Yeah. So it's been such a journey, and it's like to go from that to think about now we're going to do 602s. It's hilarious.
Last time I checked, it was 4. How many now?
It's going to be 6, yeah. It's too many.
We only reserved the polite round of applause for the real,
that was very
real
polite.
moments. Yeah, because it's like there's an element of shock to that. Not because you don't deserve to, but because who sells out 6 in 2025 like that? Like how long since the album came out? Minutes.
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Crazy. 6.
Yeah.
With a day off?
Yeah, they're a little spread out. 2 of them will be a bit
that's
later.
called a residency. That's not called 6. That's called a residency. Congratulations.
I can't wait to do it. I feel so ready to elaborate on our show in that setting and to be able to have like the budget and the means to just still create a very intimate experience. I'm not going to be flying in the sky. There's not going to be pyro.
Yet.
Watch this space. But to try and create an intimate experience in that size of a venue, I'm excited about that challenge.
Yeah, but the songs are the key. They're already there. In my opinion, and I say this as a fan who's going to do everything I can to come to an O2 show.
Oh, you must.
Yeah. So check this out. I'm coming in there and I'm already in an intimate experience. Because I'm coming to hear these songs, so I'm already in my own space. You know, I'm not coming for the light show.
You're not coming to see me.
No. And so all that's left for you to do, right, is just
sing.
Pure taste as well. Just the most tasteful experience.
It will be. We're going to work really hard on it.
Amazing. You're a professional musician making money on the street, £30 off to Gourmet Burger Kitchen. It's a good day. But it had to start somewhere. What was the moment when you turned around to your folks or whatever, and how supportive was your family environment for you in terms of wanting to pursue this? Because it is literally one of the big risks as a young person you can take is to step out of the infrastructure and back yourself.
My parents have always been extremely supportive. I think they recognized a true passion and like love for music in me from quite a young age and only encouraged it.
What would your mum or your dad say was the moment they realized? What were you listening to, singing to? What did you move to, respond to as a kid where they were like, okay, it's in her?
I remember being like 8 years old and just being sat in front of the TV and Pocahontas would play and then I'd say again. And the music was just so beautiful to me, and I said to my mum, I want to be a singer. And she was like, let's have some singing lessons then. So she sent me down on a Saturday school to Woodford County Girls' School, and they would do Saturday classes, and I'd just learn and be around other people that wanted to learn to sing. And the first time I ever sung in front of an audience, I was so scared. I had to have my back to the audience and I was crying, and I sang Tomorrow from Annie, and I came second place. Thank you very much.
Imagine what would have happened if I'd turned around.
Yeah, listen.
You know, the charismatron is here. I'm ready for you
the back of the head was enough. Yes.
It's such a good move. You didn't even realize it is such a boss move. Plus, by the way, what you didn't see was a whole lot of parents who have kids who want their kids to be able to express themselves. Hearing you sing that song, which is heartbreaking in itself, with your back to the audience. You could have planned it better.
It's mental.
It's borderline
ridiculous.
Psycho is what it is, not even realizing it.
It is mental.
I love it. Back to this album. Okay. God, I'm casting my eyes. I mean, so easy to fall in love with. What a cheeky song that is.
Yes,
Unreal.
Bossa Nova.
Seriously, I love it.
Austin Powers, but Bacharach.
Little Dionne Warwick thing going on there for sure. I love. Man, I Need, powerful. Something in between.
Really?
Love that.
Interestingly, I felt like that was the one that I was like, ooh.
Why?
It's quite understated.
Not the words.
No, not the words, but there was a time where I felt the production needed to be bigger to kind of match the weight of the words, which I feel are like very direct and an outpouring. And
well, it's your Pisces coming to full fruition, right? It's like, I'm here, I'm open, I'm very vulnerable, and I get it. But at the same time, I do not want to be owned by a man, a woman, or anybody.
Anybody. Not his, not hers, not yours.
That's right.
But I actually think it's perfectly understated in that way. And yeah, that one's been surprising for me that people have been feeling that one. That was the first song I wrote actually for this album.
Interesting. You're in a mood, huh?
Yeah. And it sort of just sat there for a while. And I was like, I know you'll be on the album, but I need to build the world around you.
What mood were you in when you wrote it?
Just torn, confused, like wanting and not wanting to be in love. And yeah, just unsure. Also unsure of the direction of what I was making. I think outside of love as a concept, I was just like, I don't know what I'm making.
Sound-wise or anything.
Yeah, who am I? Lol, you know?
Wow, it's so interesting, right? Because that's the thing you have to ask yourself over and over again if you're an artist before you decide to commit anything is who am I? Who am I today? Who am I today?
Yeah. And I didn't know. But
Wow.
I think there's a beauty in that.
The song certainly helped. Yeah, amazing. Like all sorts of questions going on in here, but some strong defiance as well. I love this. What an album, top to bottom, man. Flawless material, classic material, The Art of Loving. It's a strong statement, and the album backs it up and then some. Beautiful song there, something in between. I love nerding out with you about your music. I love that you're unafraid for me to talk about how much I love two little solo feedback notes at the end, which create tension. It's awesome.
But the feedback was so important on this album. The day we recorded Nice to Each Other, Dan, who played a lot of guitar on the album and plays in my band, I said, well, me and Zach said, could you just do a whole pass of feedback?
Yeah.
And he did like 3 minutes, just, and then throughout the whole process, we just pulled bits.
Yeah,
and we used it as transitional moments.
I love it. It's like a conversation you're having as well with something else that's not quite as, because all the instruments are talking to each other to some degree, and you are in the conversation, but they could easily just be playing to each other. But the feedback is really, to me, only talking directly to you. Yeah. In a strange way when I hear it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thread and disrupts it a little bit. I'm somebody, I like quite like clean and just warm sounding things, but I think that just added an element of like uncomfortability at points, which I think works.
You talked about Angie Stone, you talked about Lauryn Hill, we've talked a bit about D'Angelo, and we will talk in a few minutes more about D'Angelo with your blessing. But who else has been a defining kind of musical touch point for you? And are there any sort of ones in there that would surprise people perhaps? I don't know what surprises people anymore. But,
I don't know what surprises people. I mean, unsurprising, I would say, I'll give you two. I guess Carole King, for me, is just such a touchstone and reference point in terms of songwriting that is just clear and beautiful.
So direct and
just structured like so beautifully
and heartbreak dressed up in a beautiful bright color, and sometimes bright, sometimes like these really demure colors about that are ultimately about the greatest day she's ever had. It's such a crazy paradox with her writing, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always thinking that You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman is the best song ever written. The way the chords move, the way like the power, the femininity she's talking about, like I love that song.
Yeah, me too.
It's my favorite song ever.
Yeah.
What would be a surprising reference
Go
point?
through an emo phase. Everybody goes through an emo phase.
No, not really. What's an emo phase? Like Jeff Buckley, I guess that's kind of emo.
You like Jeff?
Love Jeff Buckley.
Same. The doc is amazing. It's coming out as a new documentary.
Oh no, yeah, I've seen. It's Never Over, right?
Yeah.
That's coming out.
It's incredible.
Love Jeff Buckley.
Yeah, Jeff was one of those artists that one of the things I love about Jeff's story is that Jeff was a student before he was a performer. That he sat in his room knowing he had this gift, but also knowing that he'd be analyzed for it because of his father and whatnot. So he went through and he just studied his favorites, studied the greats. And
you can hear it.
You can hear it.
Yes.
Vocally.
Haunting. So vulnerable. Such sad material.
Dream Brother. Oh my God.
Crazy
music. And I love Sketches as well. I think even though the album was finished posthumously, Everybody Here Wants You is one of the great forlorn, unrequited, yearning love songs I think ever.
How do you feel about posthumous albums? That's a big question maybe for the radio today.
No, it's a good question. Look, it always comes down to the music and whether I feel that the spirit is in the music. I respect the fact that people want to give fans music, and if the music was there and there was never a barrier to entry after tragedy, that people do their best to try to honor that. But I've got to hear the spirit. Like when I heard Circles by Mac, that to me was like, all right, the spirit is
I hear it and it's like, thank you. Like I think they wanted this.
Yeah,
if we hear that.
He wanted that album to come out and know where he was going with his music. So I feel like he's still here when I hear it. So when it feels like that, I embrace all the music. But if I feel like it's a money grab, obviously.
I think we should leave Prince's vault alone. the vault
I
stay
believe
sealed.
that is what he would have wanted.
I think he will
what I can
rain
tell.
hell on us
From
if we
what
open that vault.
From what I can tell, my thing with Prince was if he wanted you to hear it,
You heard it.
you heard it.
Yeah, and we heard a lot.
We got a lot of music.
Prince was a big reference for me, I think, on this album. I think
Which era? All of it? Which era? I mean, it's
there was a song that I heard on the radio during the recording process called Do Yourself a Favor, I think from 1999. And I think that joy and that just power really inspired Man I Need. I was like, I want a song like this that as soon as I hear it, it makes me want to dance.
Yeah.
And when I play it live, it's going to be like a tang-fastic.
yeah. Fantastic.
You know?
I loved how everyone used to talk about Prince's power, but I loved it that Prince used to be able to whisper things at you. Some of his understated performances are some of his most powerful. I mean, Sign of the Times moments like, Starfish and Coffee, he's not belting it out on that. He's just letting you know, Ballad of Dorothy Parker. I
He
mean,
doesn't need to. Such range. I'll give it to you when it's time.
when it's time.
Yeah, you'll get what you're given.
So much music from Prince, but not enough. Definitely, one of the things I think that we've had to acknowledge now is that we wish that D'Angelo had made more music, but he made the right amount of music for D'Angelo. And I said on the radio yesterday, and we were talking about it, let's not focus on the albums he didn't make. Let's focus on the fact that, boy, do we make the most of the ones he did.
I mean, I'm a strong believer in quality over quantity. And is he not the most perfect example of that?
Yeah, for sure.
Everything he's ever made is just such a gift.
You have spent some time with the wonderful super freak unique like Raphael Sadiq, who is just like, talk about walking,
How did you know that?
breathing music. I'm a radio DJ. This is what we do. We just uncover this stuff. Is there a story you can tell us about that experience?
There is a story. Wow. I didn't think I'd be talking about this today. So, and how apt. I obviously am such a fan of Raphael Sadiq. I was obsessed with his music and I was just like, what would it be like if I was able to be in the studio with him? But obviously that will never happen, lol. And then they were like, it's going to happen. And we had like not a lot of time together. And gosh, I haven't thought about this in a while. I turned up to the studio and he hadn't arrived yet. And I sat down at the piano in the live room and I was just sort of playing. And then I turned around and then he came in and we sat at the piano together and he played and I just listened. And I found the whole experience so overwhelming that all I could do was listen, really. Like we made a few things, but I wanted to observe in that moment. And I remember he was saying, oh yeah, he was talking to the engineer and he was like, oh, he was in here yesterday, like smoking ciggies. And I said, who? And he said, D'Angelo. And then it was like, well, now I can't make music in here. What am I supposed to do in here today after D'Angelo was in here yesterday, So that was a surreal life moment for sure.
I love that you just were present enough to let it be inspiring and not necessarily leap headfirst into the opportunity.
I'm just not that way in the studio. Like, unless I feel compelled or I feel like I have something to say or a melody to sing, I'd rather not. I think that the best songs, at least for me, happen naturally.
Yeah.
And if I'm in a moment where I'm like, I don't have anything to give to this right now, I'm not going to pick up the mic and just say, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's like, it's not the vibe. I'd rather leave with a beautiful instrumental and then come back to it later.
I have just thoroughly enjoyed every second in your company today.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been really
I feel like we
fun.
could talk forever.
Yeah, well, let's keep going. Whenever the time is right, the door's always open.
I'd love to come back.
We remain such huge fans. Everyone here at Apple and myself,
thank
very
you.
much so a fan of what you do as an artist and now as a person. Like, you really know yourself, and I really love that.
Thank you.
Thank you for being so honest. Thank you for sharing that cool story about you and Raphael Sadiq. And can't wait to see you again.
Yay. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.